Hey, what's up, everybody? Fred Minnick here, and this is another one of my reviews trying to catch up on my backlog of boxes that have been, catching up with me. And I found one. It was a square box, small square box, and it said it was from Sazerac. I was like, oh, what could this be? And so I opened it up, and I was like, oh, look at that. That's a nice little box there. I open it up some more. I'm like, oh, this is that decanter that they, came out with in July. So I was like, has this been sitting in my pile of boxes since July? Or did they just send this? I actually have no idea. I'm sure that there was a timestamp on the box that they mailed me. But this is the Distillers Council of Colonel E.H. Tylor. It comes in this nice little decanter right there that you see here. Now, obviously, this is a sample sent to me, and the price of this is $1,500 for the full decanter. It's in one of those fancy, I think it's a Grecian decanter. But more importantly, kind of like what they're setting this up to be, was that this is a celebration of Colonel E.H. Tylor. It's a bottled and bond. Colonel E.H. Tylor was incredibly instrumental in the Bottled and Bond Act. In fact, I write about some of that in my new book that's coming out called Bottom Shelf. Make sure you guys check that out. You're going to find out some facts on Old Tylor, I'm telling you, that you never even knew, and how it's so closely tied to Old Crow. But that's my book. Go check that out. I'll have links in the description if you would like to buy a signed copy or get one from your general bookstore. But so back in 1996, then Sazerac acquires what is now Buffalo Trace, and there's all these discussions about what's going to happen to the facilities, what they're going to do with the whiskey, and E.H. Tylor, which actually they would have had the facilities, but would not have had outright. They would not have had the original facility, which is now, Castle and Key, and they would not have actually had the rights to all the Old Tylor products. Beam still owned one of those. And, there was a meeting of these distillers. It was Gary Grayhart, Orville Shupp, Mark Brown, Elmer T. Lee, and Harlan Wheatley. Now, we still, Mark Brown and Harlan Wheatley are still very much involved with Buffalo Trace, and this is a product that's kind of like in celebration of that. Now, the details on the whiskey in terms of what's in it, we know it's from one distillery and one distilling season. I don't have actually on the label or in the press release that I was given the actual age of the whiskey. But some quick sleuthing from people who actually did the work will tell you that it's 15 years old. So there's a Forbes article that was published that it's 15 years old. So 15-year-old E.H. Tylor at 100 proof is essentially what we are looking at. The SRP on this is $1,500. Now, that's pretty exciting for me. Now, I love the taste of 15-year-old bourbon. Typically pretty good. After 15 years, it's probably going to be over oaked for me. But 15 years is going to be pretty much on the money. Now, this is a sample sent to me by Buffalo Trace. That being said, I have not liked a lot of their products that were super expensive. Pappy 23, for example, is a product that I'm typically pretty down on. It's usually over oaked. I was not a fan of William LaRue Weller a couple of BTACs ago. So just because something's expensive, just because something's old, doesn't mean that I'm going to like it. So let's get to it, shall we? Well, I'm going to tell you, it smells very... very I don't know. It's not turning me on. Let's put it that way. So it's not sending me those vibes of like, well, hello, what's going on there? I'm a 15-year-old hunter-proof bourbon. Won't you put me? Okay, that's gonna sound a little creepy. I'm just gonna tell you, it's not smelling like it's $1,500. But what it does smell like, it smells like oats. It smells like banana and peanut butter. So it smells like my childhood breakfast from like 3rd grade to 6th grade, peanut butter sandwich and maybe some oatmeal with a banana. Okay. First thing I'd like to do here is like kind of tell you where I feel it on my palate. I feel it on kind of the back of my palate, in the middle, and toward the tip. Nothing down the sides of my palate. Nothing on the roof of my palate. It's just kind of there on the tongue. And it not really on the sides, So it's not all encompassing on the tongue. Oh, my alarm's going off. And then, yeah, just kind of there. Nothing too crazy. All right, going to taste again. Same kind of area. Not much change in it. Feels very, velvety is not the right word. It's like a touch below velvety, maybe creamy. Kind of hangs out. It feels very nice on the tongue. It kind of hangs out like at that mid palate area toward the back, a little bit in the front. And flavor wise, there's a little bit going on here, right? So I've got some really nice, like cake batter, like vanilla cake batter. Maybe like a little butterscotch pudding. There's some kind of cherry, little cherry note here and there. And then, and I can't quite put my finger on what else I'm picking up, but maybe a little spiciness. Let me just taste it one more time. Perks of the job, right? Get to taste and taste. I'd say my kind of I come in with like kind of like a final thought on this. It's peppery, and it's a very very fine bourbon. It's very good. It's very very good. I think the question is like, is it worth $1,500? No, it is not. I can tell you with absolute certainty that I have had many other bourbons that cost drastically less than this, that taste better than this. This is still a 91 point bourbon, right? Still very good. And in fact, I would say it's very good to, it could really kind of warm up on you and you could be like, oh, it's great, and so then maybe you jump it up to 92 points, maybe 93 points. But for me, it's the finish is, I'm very big on the finishes, and you keep hearing me like talk about like it's here and there on the tongue, and it's not all over the tongue, right? And the finish is about medium. But if I'm dropping this kind of money on a bourbon, which I did not, this was a sample, so I didn't pay for it. But I have paid that kind of money and more for bourbon, and this is what I'm looking for something when I spend that kind of money. I want it to just get up on my tongue. I want it to tickle the roof of my palate. I want it to curl up underneath my tongue. I want to feel it everywhere. I want it to be all mouth coating. I want to still be tasting it 3 minutes after I have taken a sip. I want, multiple layers of flavor there. I just didn't get that here. Like, I got very, very nice pepper notes. I got very nice, like this butterscotch note. They're all very nice. It's all very nice. And I think it's kind of like, sometimes you have a starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a fantastic quarterback. You know what? He's not Tom Brady, right? I think when you are spending this kind of money, you're asking yourself, is that going to be the Tom Brady of bourbon? It's not. This is more like Kirk Cousins. Serviceable. Going to make a Pro Bowl. Going to win you some games. But probably not going to win the Super Bowl. Anyway, don't know why I went down that road with it. But anytime you have something that's very expensive, it's worth, kind of being honest about it. Going a little bit into like, what does it cost? And usually the decanters are very expensive, like the Woodford decanter is from Baccarat. It's super expensive. This is a Grecian decanter, if I recall. Those things are probably half of the SRP. If this was a $300 product, I probably wouldn't be as talking as much about the price of it as I am. But anyway, that's me. I'm always going to be honest. I know I've been slacking on giving you all reviews, but as I've noted before, I have been writing a book. That book's coming out in February. Make sure you check that out. It's called Bottom Shelf. It's my life story. I've got links for it in the description. I also started a new podcast with Pro Football Hall of Famer Jared Allen. Go over, check that out at Fourth and Neat. But that's going to do it for this review, another honest review from me. I appreciate you all tuning in, and I appreciate your support. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Tell a friend. I'm going to get back on that review train because, after all, I got my top 100 coming up very soon. This one may make it, and it also may not make it. This probably won't make it, to be honest with you. I mean, whiskey-wise, it would be borderline anyway, but with the price, yeah, it's going to be hard to track down another bottle. So, tough. Anyway, that's going to do it. Be safe out there, and remember, vodka sucks. Cheers.